we are again for another worksheet. This is worksheet 2-10 for the class Algebra 1, Part 1. And in this one, we're doing some compound inequalities. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to separate these into their two options. So option 1 and option 2. So we're going to be setting up this, and I'm going to go ahead and set up all of them so you can check before the rest of the video. So the two options for this one are this, and then y minus 8 is greater than or equal to negative 12. Do the first four. I went too far. So you're basically working out two different possibilities, the lower and the upper of the range, because all these are ands, right? So there should be a lower and an upper range to it. It's a range of answers, not just one answer. Let's go ahead and zoom in. All right, so let's work on these four first. So I got to solve this as if it's an equal sign. First, I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. So that's going to be 1 is less than x. Just that easy, right? Just like you would any other equation solving. Now, there is one rule you have to remember. If you divide by a negative, got to flip the inequality. And there's a lab in this class that sort of shows that. So if you haven't done it yet, you're probably going to do it soon. All right, so if I subtract on this side, I'm going to get a positive 6. So the range of answers for this one, because it says to also graph it, let's put our lowest number and our highest number down. And x is not going to be equal to 1, but it is equal to 6. And it's everything less than 6 and greater than 1. All right, over here I'm going to add 8 to both sides. So 1 is greater than y. And then over here I'm going to add 8 to both sides. Notice the operation is the same. I'm just doing it to a different, one to the lower and one to the higher range. Okay. Now I can pull this back together. When I pull it back together, I actually want to put my lowest number on that side and my highest number on that side. Y is greater than or equal to the negative 4, but it's less than the 1. If I graph that, now it's a little bit easier. I put my lowest number on this side, a 0 and a 1. Okay, and y is everything greater than the 1. Uh-oh. Did I mess up one of my sides? Yes! So it's supposed to be, and I think I even said it, less than the 1. So it's equal to this one as well, and it goes all the way to 1. All right. So let's kind of look at this now, these two. In this first one, I've got to subtract 9. Now I got a two-stepper. That's going to give me a negative 15 is less than 3n. And when I divide out my 3, I'm going to get my lower value of negative 5. Now over here, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to subtract that 9, which is going to give me 3n is equal to 18. Is that correct? Let me think for a minute. No. I think I thought it was 27 in my mind or something. A different 9. A different 9. This is 7 times 3. Kind of a different idea here. So anyway, if I take away, I'm going to have 12. And if I divide the 3, I'm going to have a 4. So in this one, m is the values in between -5 and 4, such that it is greater than a -5, but less than a 4. Okay? Over here, we're going to subtract our 5 from both sides, which is going to give me 2 is less than x. That's my one condition. Over here, though, when I subtract the 5, it's going to give me x is less than or equal to 6. Now, in this one, look, both of the numbers are positive. That's okay to have. It's okay to have our numbers both positive. Okay, it's still a range. X has to be greater than 2, or less than and equal to 6. This is our range of values X can be. All right, so let's see. Yep, only 4 more questions left. So the first thing I want to do is I want to pull this apart into its 2 different ideas. There is -2 is less than -2x plus 7. That's the first idea. That's the lower one. And then there's -2x plus 7 is less than 9. That's our second idea. All right, so first thing is I'm going to subtract 7 from both sides, giving me a -8 is less than -2x. And then I got to divide out that -2x. Now, anytime I divide by a negative, I need to circle that inequality. That way I can go back and see really quickly if I made a mistake and didn't flip it. All right, so that's going to cancel, leaving me just with an x, which is on the greater side. 2 negatives make a positive, and that's a 4. Now remember, this isn't saying that whenever I flip it, because I haven't flipped it yet, this isn't saying that this whole idea is less than -1. No, it's saying what can go in for x. And remember, if I want it to be greater, I need to be able to put a negative number in there, a less number in there, because 2 negatives make that positive. Okay? Now over here, let's do some more math. We got to subtract 7 from both sides, and that is going to give me the idea of 2. Oh, negative again. Circle that so I know that I got to change it. Cancels out. X is greater than a -1 this time. Okay, so my idea kind of flip-flopped on both sides. I'm going to kind of change them. X is bigger than the -1, and X is less than the 4. So X is this range. It's greater than -1, and it's less than 4. All right, our 2 different ideas here are going to be that one. Okay, -6 is less than or equal to 2t minus 5, and 2t minus 5 is less than or equal to a -3. So the first thing I need to do is solve as if this is any old equation. I'm not dividing by negative. I don't have to circle the inequality, but I am going to get a fraction this time. Our first value is going to be -2 is less than or equal to t. Okay, and on the other side, we're going to get t is less than or equal to 1. So let's go ahead and write that in. So this means that t is the values in between -1/2 and 1. And it's also going to be equal to both ideas. All right, so there is our bracket. Two more. So in this one, our 2 ideas is -3 is less than -3x plus 8, and that. Oh, phew, got a little carried away. And then over here, we also have our other part of the range, which goes to 11. 11 is greater than that core. Okay, so first thing, got to divide by that. I'm going to get some really nasty fractions on this one. It's okay, fractions are numbers too, but it just feels weird. Okay, so I divided by a negative. It's going to give me 11 over 3, and just because I want to see what else it looks like, I'm going to say that it also gives me 3 and 2/3, and that is going to be greater than x. Over here I'm going to subtract 8, which is going to give me a kind of a weird number. It's going to give me the complement of 3 divided by a negative 3. I divided by a negative. X is going to be greater than a negative 1. So we got a reverse idea here. It's easier to look at it as negative 1 is less than x, and x is less than 3 and 2/3. All right, so I put a open circle, numbers in between. Last one, our two ideas are negative 2 is less than or equal to 4 minus 3a, and 4 minus 3a is less than or equal to 13. Over here, I gotta subtract 4, okay, from both sides. It's gonna give me negative 6 is less than or equal to a negative 3a. I'm gonna divide out that negative 3. Now, I divided by a negative, so I'm going to flip this idea, make it 2 is greater than or equal to a. Over here, subtract my 4. Negative 3a is less than or equal to 9. Divide out the negative 3. Divided by a negative, so I'm going to flip the sign. A is greater than or equal to a negative 3. So let's reverse our idea. So a is in the middle. All right, and I'm equal to the negative 3. I'm also equal to the 2, and I'm all the values in between. All right, so that's this worksheet. I'll see you guys in class, and we'll start tackling some ors.